Welcome, everybody, to the Jim Master Show Live. How are you and you and you and you? It's so great to have you with us today. I hope you guys are having a good day. It is Monday afternoon. At the time of this live broadcast, we're doing a special afternoon episode for you here. Afternoon and afternoon. Oh, I feel like I want a Lorna Doone right now after saying that. Afternoon, I must be craving Lorna Doone cookies. Those are very good. They're like shortbread. Hope you guys are doing well, and thank you for joining us. I am your host, Jim Masters, and of course, we have a good time all the time on this show. We have JILL USDAN. She's with us. She's a singer-songwriter. She's a specialist in something called the Alexander Technique. We're going to be talking about that as well. She's a brilliant teacher. She's going to perform live for us as well. She has some songs, and it is holiday time. So we welcome you. We wish you the best of the holidays, everybody. Hanukkah and Christmas and Kwanzaa and New Year's coming up. We are all decorated here for our holiday theme now during the holiday season. Very busy weekend last weekend with lots of great shows. If you missed any of the entertainment and music and merriment and mayhem, just go to our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV and everything is there for you. That is www.youtube.com/Jim Masters TV. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss any content. And of course, click that notification bell as well so that way there you don't miss content. We're always posting cool things on the channel. Hope your day is going well. We're kicking off the week as we get closer and closer to Christmas, of course, counting down the days, and Hanukkah as well happening. And again, we wish everybody all the joys and blessings of the holiday season. If you're just joining us for the first time, we are here just about every day. We normally do our shows at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. We do have a show tonight, a really fun show with actress, comedian, and voice actor Tess LaBella. That's right. We're doing a special holiday episode together. Jim Masters and Tess LaBella, holiday fun at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. So after our show right now, it's going to be a quick change, quick dinner, like I did on Saturday. And then the merriment continues this holiday season here on the Jim Master Show Live, which is an entertainment lifestyle talk show series we created about 36 weeks ago with episode after episode. All kinds of guests from all walks of life, as well as entertainment, special features, on location segments, and lots of levity, love, and levity, as we call it here on the show, too. The show is all about levity. All of our viewers are the Levities. They call me Mr. Levity. And this is Levity Hall on the Jim Master Show Live. So good to have you with us. Thanks for joining us, everybody. And let's welcome some of our terrific guests that are here. I always say guests. I mean, our viewers are Levities. Christine says, greetings, Jim and Levity friends. We welcome singer-songwriter JILL USDAN to the show today. Looking forward to great music from JILL soon. Absolutely. Christine in North Carolina, thanks for joining us as well. I love you, Jill. Well, thank you very much, Torimer. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, we'd love it if you subscribe to the channel, share the levity. It's a pleasure and again, a privilege to have you here. Allison is here as well. Good to have you with us. Allison Klein-Throop, watching on our YouTube channel. Hope you love our YouTube channel as well. Just want to let everybody know all of the episodes of our show are available on YouTube with great guests from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, child stars, science, health, wellness, food, comedy, and so much more. All available on our Jim Masters TV YouTube channel. Good to see you, Mary, in Florida. Nice, Mary. Always good to have you here. Hello, Jim and Levity friends. Should be great conversation and music. You know it. Emily Bruno is here. Welcome to the show, Emily. Again, for everybody who's joining us for the first time, we are generally here, usually 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, every single day. Sometimes we change the time to accommodate the guest, or if we have more than one show, or if the guest is in a time zone where it's really late for them, like some of our performers we've had in Europe, Ireland, Scotland, Sweden, England, places that have later time zones. We'll start our show earlier to accommodate them. Emily Bruno, welcome to the show, watching on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. We hope you subscribe to the channel too. We're building that channel. We would love to have you with us regularly. Nice to welcome you, Emily. Jennifer is here. You're cleaning and decorating for winter solstice and Yule. Happy holidays, Jim and everyone. Good to see you there in Allentown, Pennsylvania, watching on our YouTube channel as well. And Harriskin is here. Happy Monday, everyone. Happy Monday to you in Southern California. In Canada, Merlin is here. Ho, 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 Jim and all Levities. Good to see you as well, Merlin. Always a pleasure when you're with us. And of course, we welcome everybody and all the lovities everywhere too. Christopher Joseph is here. Good to see you, Christopher. Hello, Jimbo and Jill and all lovities. And you cannot wait to see Jill. She's coming up in just a moment. We always greet our viewers, our faithful viewers first, because this is an entertainment lifestyle talk show. So excited to learn all about the method, Jill, from Erica Ross. Thank you very much for joining us, Erica. We welcome you to our show and everybody, all of our regular lovities, new folks, and more. Hello, Jim and all the lovities. Good to see you, Juanita. We love when you're with us all the time from beautiful South Africa. Hope you're having a good day. Kibby McCann is here. Nice to have you, Kibby. Yay, Jill. Welcome to the Jim Masters Show live. We welcome you. Hopefully you'll give some levity to that YouTube channel and subscribe. We would love it. Hello from Minnesota, Ruth Reedy. Good to see you, Ruth. Welcome. It's nice to have you with us on a Monday. Christopher, that fireplace looks so inviting. You like our set? We have a couple more things we're adding to it. A couple of surprises. We should have them in place by tomorrow, I would say. But we've been working on the set, very festive with all of our different colors. And yeah, we always change the set based on theme and time of year. You're watching the show while at work. Fantastic, Anne. That is a dedicated, loyal levity. We love it. Marilyn is in Wichita, Kansas. Hi, Jim and all our lovities. Good to see you, Marilyn. Kathleen Walker in New York City. Hi, Jim. Hi, everyone. How was your day? Our day was very busy. I was on the air with radio shows today. As you know, I'm a television and radio personality, presenter, host, voiceover artist, narrator, journalist, actor, writer, producer. So I work in television and radio and have for years. So I was on the air with radio shows in my professional hat today. And now we're here with all of you with our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series, bringing back the lost art of conversation. So excited. Sarah Hartman is here. Welcome, Sarah, to the Jim Masters Show Live. We love having you here on our Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. Claudia is here as well. Hello, everyone. Good to have you with us. Merry Christmas. Hope you're all doing okay. And we welcome everybody on our show. Helen is here. Love you so much, Jill, Helen, and Peter. Well, we welcome you to the Jim Masters Show. And Manny Valentine is here from Hollywood, California. Welcome from Hollywood. Good to have you with us. Welcome to the show. Esper is here. Welcome to the show as well. We hope you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We would love it. You're watching on Jim Masters TV. Kathy Short. Hello, Jim and Lovelies. Good to see you, Kathy, as well. Greetings from Sylvania, Ohio. Nice to see you as well. And greetings and wellness to you. You as well, Manny. We love it. Yes, being a levity is exciting. Absolutely, isn't it? It's a cool thing. And Jill Jason, hi, Jim, and hi, everyone. XOXO to you, too, as well, Jill. Usually we always have something with us, and now we have in here just a little coffee, little light coffee in our I Love Lucy mug. That's right. Pretty cool, huh? We always have a different glass, different mug. And we toast you and you and you and you and you, and we welcome you to our show. And we welcome our very special guest who's coming up right now, Jill USDAN. If you're familiar with her, then you know who I'm talking about. She is quite amazing, and we're very excited to have her here on the show. She's a big fan of our series of shows. She's been watching and binging, and we love that. She is an Alexander Technique teacher, singer-songwriter, born and raised in New York City, where she began acting professionally at the age of 5 after graduating from Barnard College of Columbia University as a theater major and recipient of the Kenneth Jeans Theater Prize for her contributions to the theater department. On and off stage, Jill pursued her passion for acting in her hometown, which led her to the Alexander Technique. She immediately fell in love with the technique for the freedom of movement, and it gave her both that on and off stage. Totally changed how she related to herself and the outside world. The Alexander Technique opened the door for her to find joy and wonder in living in the unknown. Jill began studying the Alexander Technique in 2009, received her 1,600-hour AMSAT certification at the Balance Arts Center in February of 2019, and is a member of the faculty of the Balance Arts Center. Jill has taught classes, workshops, private lessons for singers, and so many others, actors, as well as classes for people who have the Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. As an actress and puppeteer as well, Jill performed at Dixon Place at the Access Theater, and also many other theater companies in New York City. She's a singer-songwriter, and her EP Numbers can be found on Spotify and iTunes and Amazon and so much more. Recently, a terrific and phenomenal project that she's done is a one-person show called The Haunted Trumpet. It was supposed to be performed at the Balance Arts Center this past April, but of course postponed due to COVID. Jill is currently adapting it for a Zoom performance. And the piece deals with what it's like to be haunted by past experiences and looks at how we process trauma as well. Jill is also a freelance photographer specializing in off-Broadway production and publicity photos that have been published in the New York Times, Playbill.com, VillageVoice.com, and other publications. It's my pleasure to welcome live from New York City our wonderful guest, Jill USDAN. Jill, welcome to the show. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and happy holidays.
Hello, it's so good to see you.
How are you? You've got your nice, bright, sort of like a yellowish color. I really like the color of your top. You've got that red, sort of like love seat or couch behind you.
Oh, yeah.
Nice and colorful. How are you, and how are you doing with the holiday season here? Believe it or not, that came fast, and all the craziness of this year we've been dealing with.
I know. I can't believe it's December already. It feels like no time at all has passed since March. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to spending time with my family, more time with my family, as I've been spending quite a large amount of time with my family. This summer, I was able to spend some time with them living in Connecticut for a bit. And I felt very much like I was Uncle Joey in Full House, because there was my mom, my sister, brother-in-law, and my two nieces, two cats, and a dog. And I was like Uncle Joey.
That's what happens, right? Sometimes you just feel like, you don't. It's been a big change for everybody too, especially the working out of the house. And we did that, working in television and radio. Usually we have to be in studios and on location and all. I'm able to do the radio shows out of the house with the home studio, but we built this studio here for this entertainment lifestyle talk show series that I started 36 weeks ago. And it's been truly an absolute blessing. You've been working out of the house pretty much as well with everything, right? Because as I mentioned, when I was talking about that introduction there, you had some things that were ready to pop in April, and then like everybody else, the world sort of changed and stopped on a dime, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a residency at the Balance Arts Center in New York City, which is founded by Anne Rodiger, an amazing Alexander Technique teacher and educator. And the residency is given to people who use the Alexander Technique in their performance process. So I was set to kind of spend the whole month there getting ready for the show. And then unfortunately it had to be postponed until sometime in 2021. But yeah, I've continued to teach remotely. It's been a blessing that work translates over Zoom. I'm able to see what's going on with my students and then just guide them verbally, as opposed to using my hands, which I would do in person.
Let's talk about, I know you're going to perform for us as well. Let's talk about the Alexander Technique. I mentioned it a little bit in the beginning. It sounds really fascinating. For those who are watching our show live right now, internationally, we have an international audience of viewers and levities, as well as who will be watching this later. People tend to binge our series on YouTube and all the episodes. How do you define the Alexander Technique and the importance of it, and what it's all about, and how you apply it with your students?
Oh, lots of good questions. Well, I'll start by just giving a little tiny bit of background so we kind of understand where we're coming from. F.M. Alexander was an Australian actor, and he lived from 1869 to 1955. And basically, he kept going on stage, and he would lose his voice. He would see doctors, and they were thinking it was maybe an illness. And so they eventually had him go on vocal rest for 2 weeks straight, not saying a word. And then he went back on stage and immediately lost his voice again. So he realized that it must be something that he's doing with his body to cause this. So he, like the magician that he set up all these mirrors in his apartment and realized that, like, it had to be, as I said, he was doing something that was affecting his voice. So through self-observation, looking in the mirror, seeing what he was doing, he realized when he'd go to speak, he'd pull back and down on his neck like this, puff out his chest, and go to speak like that, narrowing his back. So basically, he realized that in doing this, it was putting tension on his vocal cords. And let me see, I have a good image here that might be helpful to see. If you're looking, the vocal folds are right here, horizontal. So you can see that if you're placing pressure on the neck back there, it's going to affect the vocal cords. So from that, he created this technique that is based around the weight of the head on the spine and how that affects our whole functioning. So basically, we're constantly navigating this weight, and we're looking to find the best mechanical advantage to find our optimal functioning so that our whole system is working the way it should be. Muscles are the breathing muscles are all being coordinated. And it also became a mental thing too, where he realized that he had to give himself mental directions to guide himself to finding his best alignment or use. And I think that's just a little bit of a background for you there.
It's amazing. There's a comment that came in from Christopher Joseph in Ohio that says, I'm friends with a man in his 80s who uses the Alexander technique to control his Parkinson's disease.
Yes, the technique applies to basically, I mean, everyone can benefit from it. It's all about kind of putting forward the natural coordination of our systems so that they're functioning properly. And when you think about the spine, you have the spinal cord there. So you want your spine to be, again, coordinated properly so that the spinal cord can do what it needs to do, and also how it connects from the spine to the head as well.
You know, it's pretty amazing. People don't realize the importance of, you know, the function of the spine and how the spine is so connected to everything else. People have feet issues, leg issues, I mean, shoulder, neck. I mean, it's all connected in ways that we don't realize. And sometimes even in the way we sit right now, being home, a lot of people are doing a lot of sitting, and they're in one spot and their hands are stretched and they're using the, you know, moving around and just, you got to get away from the computer and away from the technology and stretch and walk and get out in nature and do whatever you can. This technique, you know, there's certain elements of it that remind me as I've been researching it, that remind me of Qigong a little bit, Qigong, which I learned about when I was interviewing Lee Holden, who was this Qigong master. He was actually at WNAT 13 in New York, PBS, and we had him in the studio, and I was hosting and interviewing him. And so much about the movement and the breathing and the balance, not necessarily going into a gym and lifting weights and doing all of the resistance, much more about the breathing and the centering and the balance and these slower movements. And this seems to have a similarity to it, that it's these subtle but yet very important and deep movements that can really work wonders, not only if obviously you have, you know, a medical condition or physical situation, but you've worked with singers, actors. Share a little bit more how it works, like for an actor, how this actually can help benefit them in their performance and their physicality and what have you.
Yeah, there's a lot to say about that. Well, I'll just say one thing first. With this technique, we're identifying our own habits and patterns of how we use our body. And once we identify that for ourselves, by slowing down, by really being able to look at how we're carrying ourselves and using our body, then you get freedom because you have the choice to either continue with the pattern or habit that you're doing or try something new. So that applies to acting in many different ways. I'll start off by talking about how, you know, in acting, we talk about following our impulses. And it's really important to slow down with this process because there's a difference between following our impulses and performing our habits versus having control and choice over how you want to perform and what part of yourself you want to put forward versus just performing your habits and kind of staying in your comfort zone. So that's a big part of it. Another element is, what I love about this technique is that it's all about creating your process for yourself as an individual. And I really love that, just being able to embrace that, because, if you're working on Richard III, you might want to jump in right and go right for the physicality, and versus if you're playing somebody like Catherine in Proof, the mathematician, you might want to start with a notebook, just as she would in her work. So it's all about finding new ways to kind of create your own process, which can and should shift for every performance or every role that you're playing. So again, the technique is all about finding freedom and having choice and knowing yourself as an instrument.
That's a good way to look at it, because we really are, our voices are instruments, our bodies are instruments, everything is really an instrument. And we often take sometimes better care of our cars. And when the car is acting up, we bring the car in when we hear a knocking or a ticking, or it just doesn't seem to be operating, and then we don't necessarily do it for ourselves. But this seems to have a lot of physical as well as like a mind, body, and spirit connection that can just be very beneficial, even if you're not an actor or singer or performer, just something beneficial for the mind, body, and spirit collectively, right?
Absolutely.
How has it helped you? You teach it, but how has it helped Jill? What differences have you seen in your own experiences, Jill?
Well, it's been a process since 2009. When I started off, I was working with a wonderful teacher, June Ekman, who was just an amazing person and teacher. And I studied with her. I started doing once a week with her. For the first year that I did once a week with her, I was crying the whole lesson, because just having her put her hands on me totally opened up a release in my body that I wasn't expecting, and then all of this emotion came out. So if you're used to kind of maybe holding in your throat, holding back things you might want to say, holding emotions here and not letting yourself get upset, when you go to release that part of your body, the release can just really expand, and you experience all these emotions that you've been keeping inside. So crying happens, your breathing changes. And so it really affected me personally on a personal level first. And then as I became certified with Ann Rodiger at the Balanced Arts Center, the 1,600 hours, it was just such a gift, because I got to learn about myself and my instrument and, my needs in particular. And I'll say that when I think something I'm very proud of is my EP Numbers, which came out a couple of years ago. And I would not have been able to record that without working with Ann Rodiger at the Balanced Arts Center, because I sang for 4 or 5 hours straight with one 5-minute break in the middle of all that. And I was able to just maintain an easiness in my voice and with my whole body and system. And that was a huge experience for me with the Alexander work.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. Wow. Now, is this something that can really work for all ages, or there are certain age groups and demographics for the Alexander technique, or no?
Absolutely. Everybody at any age can really benefit from the work. For children, it's wonderful to start with them young, so that they already have an understanding of how to use their bodies, and hopefully bypass, building up these habits that we all kind of build up over the years. So working with children is really wonderful, because they also have that natural integrity of their bodies. Like, especially if you look at children who are around 2 years old and 3 years old, and they sit so upright because they're naturally balancing the weight of their head on the spine, and they just have the connection to their back, and they're just really beautifully aligned. So we, in working with children, you want to maintain that and not, let them, lose that wonderful sense of themselves. On the other end of the spectrum, working with people who are older, there are different tasks that are sometimes more challenging for older students. Like we work on getting in and out of a chair, and just doing activities that are helpful, and kind of like a holistic approach to therapeutically working with people who are older. And then everyone in between has totally benefits from it as well. It depends. The big part of this technique is about applying awareness and having self-observation through whatever task you have to accomplish. So it's, again, great getting in and out of a chair, to brushing your teeth, washing dishes, running a marathon, sitting at a desk all day. We're all just bringing awareness to every activity that we're doing.
Which is beautiful. I mean, it's a beautiful thing when you can inspire and help others in the way that you do, and I think that's really sensational, and that's something that you have. You're touching lives in such an extraordinary way that I know is very important to you, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. It's a very hands-on, literally hands-on approach. For those of you who don't know, when usually an Alexander technique lesson takes place in person, and basically I, as a teacher, am using my hands to help guide you to your best use or alignment or functioning, because we have a faulty sense of kind of our sense of our body and how it relates to itself and how it relates to the space around you. A great term I love is called debauched kinesthesia, which means basically if you're used to standing with your feet really spread out, turned out like a ballet dancer, and then you make the adjustment slightly to have your feet be a little bit more parallel, you can feel like you're pigeon-toed, because we have this debauched sense of what our bodies are doing. So as a teacher, I'm just guiding you and giving you the feedback of what's actually upright and all of that. So that's why I say it's literally a hands-on, approach. And when I used to, be acting, I loved it because it was a way to help people escape. And it gave me a sense of service to feel like I was helping people do that when they come into the audience. But then over the years, it became, less direct in terms of being of service as an actor. And then when I discovered this technique, it was, again, feeling like of service again, and with that, like I said, more hands-on. And I just love being able to work with lots of different people. I have, students. I've worked with painters, an architect. All different kinds of people. It's really fascinating to work with the individuals who I get to, be in the room with.
Which is terrific. I mean, that's really what it's all about. And when you have an opportunity to do it in a way that really, again, not only puts smiles on somebody's face, but it's a very liberating thing, because I'm sure they're having an opportunity to almost like reacquaint themselves with their body, right? I mean, they might have felt very limited and they weren't able to do certain tasks, technique related work as a singer, as a performer, as an actor. They were limited by all of this, but now this sort of opens up a whole new world for them, right? It's an extraordinary thing.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, it's all about building self-awareness and, kind of getting to know yourself and having a love affair with yourself. I was looking at your your master's mantras. And that's the psychological element of it too, where you can really change your perception of who you are and who you want to be mentally too, not just physically. So yeah.
Yeah. How did you get involved in singing and songwriting? Let's go back a little bit in that progression of your career and your life.
Well, I started, as you mentioned when you were speaking earlier, I started performing in musicals when I was 5 at the Darien Dinner Theater, the Connecticut's Broadway Theater in Connecticut. And I started singing then, and then growing up, I was immersed in music, and my parents both were, loved music, to put it, they really loved music. My mother was an actress, and my father had a beautiful voice himself. And so I was immersed in musical theater, opera, classical music, jazz, just everything. And so basically with the songwriting, well, I'll talk a little bit about it in the context of my EP, which is called Numbers. I never thought I would be able to write a song growing up. I never thought, because I had this kind of complex about math, how I was always terrible at math. And then somehow I got into my head that, oh, if you're not good at math, you're not good at music theory, you can't, write songs. That was a mantra that somehow got itself into my head. And then I created these, so basically in my mid-20s, one day, I just was sitting on my couch, and all of a sudden, this song came out of me. I had no idea where it came from. I was just, sitting there. And so that was something I never thought I'd be able to do. But for some reason, it just like came out of me at that point in my life. And I remember being in high school and thinking of, the students, my fellow students who were writing songs then. And I just never thought it was something I could do. And in terms of connecting it with my EP, the album art is this picture of this iguana that has a bunch of when you look at it, it's the shading of the animal is all tiny little numbers. Oh yeah, there we go. So if you look up close, you can see it's all these little numbers, and that was my way of reclaiming numbers for myself, for thinking I was a terrible math student. So the whole EP is all about reclaiming, my relationship to music and math, and just doing it all on my own terms.
That's cool. So you created this cover? Is this your work?
Yeah, I drew that.
Wow. That's amazing. How long did it take to do that?
I had a few different ones. It's a series of animals, and some of them took me longer than others.
Yeah.
But the series of them were exhibited at these two different venues in the city, this Jill Newhouse Gallery, and also on the Lower East Side, the Wilhelmina Project, which was a storefront where I had all the pictures presented there. So, yeah.
That's fantastic. I just wanted to show you some of the levity. As you know, our audience, our viewers are all around the world. We call them the levities because I said light, love, and levity is what this show is all about, with everything that we do on this Entertainment Lifestyle Talk Show series. And one day I sort of fouled up and said levity. And then everybody loved the word levity, so we use it on the show. They're the levities. They call me Mr. Levity. They welcome you and all our guests as levities. Merlin in Canada says, welcome, Jill, to Levity Hall. You're now a levity.
Yay! I'm so excited.
I know. I ask guests, I say, gee, there's Tonys, there's Emmys, Peabodys, Tellys, Oscars, but sometimes nothing better than being a A wonderful levity on the Jim Masters Show live. I bet your feet are tingling right now, aren't they?
Yes, absolutely.
Everybody says their feet tingle when they become a levity. Merlin in Canada says, welcome, Jill, to Levity Hall. You are now a levity.
Oh, yay.
Christopher Joseph says, sending waves of love to all levities. Hello, Jim and levities from Kathy Short. Esper says hello as well. Manny says, greetings and wellness from Hollywood, California. Christopher, greetings from Sylvania, Ohio. Helen says, love you so much, Jill. X from Helen and Peter watching right now. Jill says, from one to the other, hello, Jim. Hi, everyone. XOXO. Being a levity is exciting. Esper says, Catherine and Eloise are watching with Esper. John says, looking forward to this, Jill. John is here as well. Claudia says, greetings from Missouri. Marilyn in Wichita, Kansas. Welcome, Jill, to Levity Hall. Mary Bishop in Florida. Welcome, Jill. So nice to have you here. Juanita in South Africa. Welcome to the show, Jill. Farrell says, woo-hoo. So excited, Jill. Tesla Bella, who's our guest tonight at 7 p.m. Welcome, Jill, and happy to have you in Levity Hall. Hello, Mr. Levity. From one Jill to the next, welcome, Jill. From Jill. Helen says, you look stunning, Jill. Kathy says, welcome, Jill, to the land of levities. June, our wonderful friend, June Rachelson Aspa. Hi, Jill. I'm here. Hi, Jim. Christopher says, welcome, Jill, to the Jim Masters Show. Awesome to see you from June. Bernadette says, hi, Jim and everyone. Welcome, Jill, to Levity Hall. Kathleen in New York City says, welcome, Jill, which is beautiful. And more coming in. Marcia says, hi, y'all. And Karen Campbell Green in Nova Scotia. Cape Breton, and they're in Canada. Hello, fellow levities. And more coming in here. This is wonderful. Helen says, being of service. So well said. Jane, who we know and love, right? How have you managed to implement the technique during COVID, not being able to have the hands-on approach? And you were mentioning using Zoom and other things have been very important in the way that you do it as well. Kibby says, Jill has given me a few of the lessons via Zoom. She's fantastic. Couldn't believe how effectively she was able to give me instruction, but also perceive and comment on my progress. Anyone out there thinking about it would highly recommend her lessons, which is wonderful. And a couple more in here. Farrell says, I love the album cover, the one we just showed with the iguana. And Tori Merce says, Jill, you're so talented in so many different ways. Tess says, beautiful drawing, Jill. Jill's so very talented. And that's all what it's about. A lot of positivity and inspiration on our show every single day of the week. Jill just got off from work, so happy to welcome Jill to Levity Hall. They plan their days around our shows. No matter, we generally do them 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. But when we do special episodes and different times, everybody finds us, which I think is cool. And they rush home from work, even though they can watch it later in the archives. They love the fact that we're live and they can react. Karen says, love you tons, Karen and Don. And Kristen is here. Hi, Jilly, love from Virginia. Welcome, Kristen. All of you watching on YouTube, we hope you will subscribe to our YouTube channel, Jim Master TV, and also like our Facebook page as well. I wanted to show the audience, our viewers, our levities, a little bit of the technique. So what's happening here? This is the Alexander technique again.
Yeah, so you'll see I'm using my hands right now in this picture. Basically, in this moment, as I remember it, we're trying to find a balance between having being opened up in his chest versus also maintaining width across his back. So that's why I'm having my hands on his chest and his back at the same time, because a lot of times, sometimes we feel like if we're hunched over too much, we want to push out our chest forward to straighten up. But ideally what we want is just width and ease across the front equally and across the back as well. So I'm doing that in the picture. And then also, here's another one. In this picture, this is part of this opera singing intensive that I taught about a year or so ago. And in this picture, we're using the straps to identify the midline of the body so that you can get a sense of the symmetry of both sides of the body in order to have a kind of holistic experience in terms of perceiving your body in the way it's actually in space. And I have, I'm giving her guidance with her head and neck so that she can get the sense of counterbalancing her feet with her head at the same time.
Very important. That's really important. I want to show some folks as well, as we've been talking about the Alexander technique, some of your incredible artwork too. Here's another piece. Tell us about this one. We'll go through some of these together because these are really cool, Jill. I don't know if everybody knows about this, part of your life that you do this as well. That's cool.
Yeah, I've always loved to draw, and drawing and collaging is a very big part of my process for songwriting, actually. I have, this big book where I draw and paint and throw my lyrics in there and kind of jumble it all up and then try to make something of it.
Really nice. So what do we have there for the audience? What are we looking at?
This is a squid.
Very cool.
And yeah, you can see if you look closer, all the tiny numbers.
The 2, the 4, the 3, yeah, the 1. I see that as well. That's a good sort of guess type thing. Like, where do you see the numbers? What numbers do you see? A little bit like, is the dress blue or is it gold? That whole controversy with that. Oh my God. Here's another one. Tell us about this. It almost looks like a snake wrapping around.
Yeah, so if you look closer, you can see the branch is comprised of all the different numbers, and I decided to see what it would be like to make the animal opaque and try to use the numbers to work on the vine that the snake is on.
That's really, really cool. The detail, just looking at the detail, it's exquisite. This one looks like a bat, huh? With the numbers in there as well.
Yeah.
Signs and
one of my
beautiful.
When I showed these to one of my Alexander teachers, actually, she was like, "Oh, it looks a little obsessive." And I kind of was a little obsessed. I was obsessed
with doing it and doing it right. And yeah, really, really cool. Here's another one I want to show everybody.
Yeah, I gotta have the New York City pigeon.
When you look at it, it has sort of I don't know if it's a 2 or 3 dimensional look. The brick doesn't look flush with the pigeon. It almost looks set back, almost as if it is sort of like 3D-ish in a way. That's how I'm seeing this. The pigeon is front and center, and then there's like a depth, a space between the pigeon and the brick. Do you see that too? Was that part of what you were creating? Because that's how it looks, which I think is incredible.
Yeah, I'm so glad that it comes across that way. That was my intention. So I'm glad to hear that.
I studied before I went into television and radio and broadcasting and everything. I studied architecture and design and did a lot of mechanical drawing and things of that nature. So I'm looking at this. I'm a photographer like you too. So I'm looking at these from I'm looking at the different nuances of what you're trying to get across, and I see them all. Again, that's the one we saw earlier, which was the cover of the EP. Here's another one. This one is really cool. Tell us about this one. This must have taken a long time. And tell us again about the process. Is this pencil? Is it ink? How do you define the process?
It's all pen.
Pen, wow.
Pen. And
you have a steady hand.
Yeah. Well, I just kept thinking to myself, just keep going, don't stop, because you'll mess up. This one I like because it's kind of creepy. I like the little spider hanging off of the swing. I don't know, it just seems kind of a little bit spooky, so I like that.
You could see that. You see the spider, sort of kind of coming down on on the web there, that little strand. That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah, this one might have taken me about a couple of hours, 2 hours maybe.
Everybody love the tree. That's Juanita. Oh,
Mm.
the tree with the swing is cool as well. Love these. That's a cool image. The one with the pigeon on the wall. Merlin in Canada sees that 3D effect that I was seeing. Farrell says, I love these. Beautiful artwork. Fantastic. You are radiant. That's John.
Uh,
We appreciate that as well. Sherry says, so beautiful. Absolutely love the tree with the swing and the spider. Really, really cool. I mean, these things are amazing. And then you also do photography, and you're doing a lot of it with off Broadway and you know the theater world and performance world as well. And we have some cool shots here that I want to show folks that are yours. Tell us about this.
So this is out of a scene of a doll's house with Marvel Rep Theater in the city. Excuse me. I think this is when she's kind of having her dilemma of what to do. Yeah.
I mean, everything looks so still that it almost looks like we're visiting Madame Tussauds Wax Museum. Everything, I mean, it just looks so like there's such a stillness to the shot and her expression and the body movement and the lighting. That's really, really almost looks so real that it almost looks not real, which is absolutely amazing. Here's another. That's a cool shot.
Oh, this one is one of my favorites. Yeah, this is a show called Fête de la Nuit, which was a Charles Mee play that was directed at the Ohio Theater by Kim Wield, and that was a great production to be a part of.
Really nice. That's cool. Anjou, let's talk about this one. You
Oh, yeah,
captured
that's a
some
good
great.
one.
Yeah, you captured something great there. That's for sure.
Yeah, so this is Anjou, which was a piece about Catherine the Great, I believe. And these actors were actually from Mexico City, and they came here for the NYMF, the New York Musical Theater Festival. So that was a shot from there.
Very nice. We have some from Barnard College as well, a couple of them. Tell us about these.
Yeah, so this was part of I think a senior thesis project, maybe. I can't quite remember, but um, I just I loved going to Barnard and studying theater there because I was exposed to all these different new kinds of theater using masks and puppetry and political theater. And in this shot, the whole scrim was covering the actors, and then they kind of pulled their way out of it and opened up the scrim to reveal the stage. So that's that.
That's cool. That's really cool. I love puppetry too. I mentioned this to a couple of guests on the show. I love puppetry, and I also love ventriloquism, and that's something you don't see a lot of anymore. You don't see a lot of people doing, you know, that have a ventriloquist doll, and they're actually doing that as much as they were years earlier. I used to just love that, and that's an amazing thing. And now the fact that we're all wearing masks, you would figure this is an ultimate time to be a ventriloquist because nobody can see your mouth moving. Although I don't know if they, you know, we would have to put the mask on the ventriloquist doll. That would be determined. But you could, you know, be doing that, and it's the ultimate time if you want to learn ventriloquism.
Feels like cheating somehow.
Right. Or you could just hang out with George Burns.
Oh, wow.
He's got his cigar. He's all ready to go. Or you can hang out with Jeannie when she pops out of her bottle.
Oh, nice.
Or you can hang out with Gilligan from Gilligan's Island.
That's amazing.
You got to put smiles on people's faces, right? Especially now more than ever. We're all looking for, you know, some levity in our lives. Here's another great shot, Requiem.
This actually, but that was me, actually. I'm there. This was a piece called Requiem for Anapolskaya, which I did at Barnard it was a piece commemorating the life of Anapolskaya, who was a Russian journalist covering the war in Chechnya. And this whole piece was a requiem for her. And we had all these huge horse puppets, and we used masks, and it was an amazing piece. And this piece is close to my heart because at the end of the show, this doll right here was supposed to be her spirit ascending to heaven. So I had to gently kind of like float this puppet down the whole aisle of the chapel that we were in. And I had to climb a 16-foot ladder holding the doll, and then giving the doll over to these huge puppet hands that were in the balcony. And it was a really amazing experience. Only the fact that between the first performance and the second performance, somebody removed the spike tape for the ladder. So I climb up the ladder holding the doll with no hands. I'm not holding onto the ladder. I climb up, I turn, and all of a sudden I see that I'm about a foot farther away than I should be.
Oh my God.
But I was able to use, kind of even before studying Alexander, just like extending my arms as far as I possibly could, because we had to make that last moment. We
had to be really big.
It had to work. So we made it happen. But yeah.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. We have another one here too. I believe this is a promo pic. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, so this is a promotion for the Marvel Reps production of Spring's Awakening, which is the original play, not the musical. And this was just a fun shoot because we went out into the park and found this fabulous tree. And in addition to doing production photos, I also did publicity photos as well.
Really, really nice. I mean, when you look at people ask me the same question because I wear so many different hats in the creative world, and they'll ask questions like, well, what do you like more? Doing this, doing that, doing that. And what, you have some more photos and you're going to perform live for us too. But what comes first for Jill? Is it the singing, the songwriting, the Alexander technique and the teaching? Is it the photography? Is it being illustrator? What defines you first, if there's anything that could even define? I don't think any of us really can be defined because we're always a work in progress and fine tuning, but what speaks to your heart? That's a better way to put it. What speaks to your heart first? Is it you, the performer, or you mentoring performers? You being the photographer, the illustrator, the singer?
Wow, that's a great question.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I picked the right career, didn't I?
I mean, I feel like when I'm immersed in whatever activity I'm doing, I feel it wholeheartedly. And they all kind of fulfill something in me that I love. I love, being quiet and drawing. I love, being around different people and helping them find their process. I love singing for people too. What's nice about the Alexander technique and being a singer-songwriter at the same time is that it takes the pressure off of both of those things. That's what I'm doing primarily right now. The drawing just for fun is, I'll still do, but I haven't done much photography recently. My focus is the Alexander work and my songwriting. And it's just nice because when I focus on one and then it drives me crazy, then I go to the other thing. And it's nice just to have a balance of being able to go back and forth between a few different things, so that, like I said, it takes the pressure off, just having to, perfect one of these elements.
Love the moment and the emotions in your artwork. What awesome technique. Jill, you really capture the moments in the photos. Your photography is amazing. You definitely picked the right career, Jim. Thank you very much, Karen in Nova Scotia. And June says, so much to share with others. Absolutely. I agree wholeheartedly. We have a couple more shots too. This is Spring Awakening. Tell us about this one.
So that is the show that the publicity photo you just displayed, that was the actual show itself.
And for those who haven't seen that show, tell us a bit about that show. I mean, I know about it, but for the audience watching, what was that show about?
I'd say the biggest theme is kind of obviously growing up and
Yeah.
confronting your sexuality.
Yeah. Like an awakening, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Really, really cool. Here's another one, Tales from the Tunnel.
Yeah, that was fun. It was, yeah, kind of like almost like a sketch comedy show.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Mm. So the photos that we're looking at that are from theater and other areas, these end up in magazines, newspapers, in their collections. Where can people actually see them, find them, and where are they actually projected?
They're kind of a little bit all over the place. Like, uh, um, they've been published in the Times and Playbill and
Yeah.
Variety and all that stuff. So they're, it's hard to kind of find them all in one place right now. But yeah, I've been published in a few different locations.
Somebody was asking the shows, some of these theater shows, are they able to be seen online? But these were actually shows that were off Broadway and other locations as they were doing them, right?
Yeah.
Karen says, I'm going to learn more about the Alexander technique. Sounds wonderful. And Emily says, you are so amazing, Jill. Welcome, Emily, again. Good to have you here. Christopher says, it's always a good thing to use other words in the English language in place of when speaking in public. That's true, too. Some people say you know a lot. I know I've heard that oftentimes, too. Here's a God of Vengeance. Tell us about this one.
That is the fabulous Joy Franz right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another off-Broadway show.
Now, how far away from the stage are you when you're taking these great, clear, vibrant shots, Jill? Are you in the front row? Are you off to the side? Are you in the back with a tremendous zoom lens?
No, I for the most part, I'm way up front. It depends. Sometimes I'll be like the director or somebody will want to set up specific shots, and then I'm really kind of like up front and center. Other times, I would be shooting like the final dress rehearsal. So it kind of depended on the different show. When I would be shooting like a final dress, I would try to be a little bit more mindful of not being so up in front in the actors' faces so that they could have that last dress rehearsal for themselves without me being in the way.
So they're shot generally not necessarily as the performance is happening with a full house, but dress rehearsals and other. So you're like you say, you can step back a little bit. You're not, if you were there doing it while the performance was actually happening with a full audience, then it could be a little tricky because it's not like a stadium where you're a sports photographer or where you can have that opportunity because it's much more quieter and darker for the audience, and you don't want to be intrusive. So a lot of them is you have this almost behind the scenes experience of being there for the dress rehearsals. While you're doing that, that must get you quite excited too, because you're getting a preview sometimes of these shows even before the mass public files in to enjoy them, right? You must be like, wow, that was a cool show. That's going to be a hit and that's going to be great, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool. So that right now obviously came to a little bit of a halt because of everything going on. Hopefully, theaters and performance halls will be back soon. Natalie says, hi, Jill. I've been fortunate to experience many of your performances and artwork. I was even lucky to tune into a virtual Alexander technique session as well. And I find that so much of what you do is giving back to those around you, whether you're performing, choreographing, developing your art, or teaching. You bring so much heart to your work, which I think is great. That's really, really nice.
That's so sweet.
Yeah. And it is felt by your audience. So great to hear you talk through your work, which I think is fantastic. Really, really nice. And when you get this feedback like this, how do you feel?
Oh, it's really touching. It's really, really amazing. Yeah, I don't really, I'm a little bit speechless.
I know, because you're very humble about it. Do you shoot stills for continuity? Merlin is asking in Canada.
In terms of continuity, I mean, there is a sequence, that I shoot in. Usually, it's the order of if it's set up and it's not a dress rehearsal, we still would do it in the order of in which the scenes occur. So I don't know if that answers that question.
Right, that would make sense. Yeah, because sometimes, like with television or even in film, things aren't always shot in continuity. Although with theater, of course, it's live. But sometimes, they'll say, for example, there's the star of the show is in a movie, and then they have to go to the TV studio to shoot their scenes for a continuing series. They may shoot all of that person's scenes then, and then that person's gone for a month while the rest of the cast are. I had heard that recently about My Three Sons. Remember the sitcom My Three Sons, with Fred McMurray and all of them. Fred McMurray was, I believe, starring in a movie or something, a couple of movies during the time My Three Sons was filmed. And so they would shoot a lot of his scenes in a very short window. And then he was gone and he was on a movie set or he was doing other things. And the rest of the cast and crew had to work around his schedule. So, and some of the cast found it, like William Frawley, who was Fred Mertz on I Love Lucy, he found it difficult to not do it in that continuity way that I Love Lucy was like. They did it in a continuum where they would have to work around Fred McMurray's scheduling, and that made it difficult for some of the actors in this series. So yeah, some of it is as it happens, you just roll with it too. I want to talk a little bit more about the singing, which I think you absolutely love. Do you have a certain style? How do you describe Jill's style, Jill's voice?
It's definitely jazzy. Maybe a little bit mellow. Yeah, I'd say my biggest influence in terms of singing is Ella Fitzgerald. She's my favorite. But then I also love bands like the Flaming Lips, and get inspiration from singer-songwriters like Fiona Apple. And yeah, in terms of my singing, though, I'd say mellow, jazzy.
Yeah. Easy and smooth as well. And we got a great question that came in here this one came in from Jane. You started performing at a very young age. Did that influence your choices for the future?
Well, I loved performing when I was younger, but I'm really glad that my parents wanted me to get through school and graduate from college, and I'm really glad that I did that before going to perform out after college. but yeah, I always loved singing. I was always humming a tune walking around.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. I know that you're set up to share some of your wonderful vocal prowess with our audience. What did you have set up in store for us? We were doing a little rehearsal before we went live, and everything sounded so good. What did you want to share with us, Jill?
Well, I wanted to share two songs from this one-person show I'm working on called The Haunted Trumpet. Um,
What's that about? Tell us about that. Yeah, yeah. I mentioned that in the intro a little bit. Tell us a little bit about what the Haunted Trumpet is.
well, it started actually with the passing of my father. I had been wanting to play the trumpet for years, but just never got into it. I was assigned the clarinet in school, and I wanted to play the trumpet, but they said stick with the clarinet.
Clarinet.
And but then as time went on, I was like, I really want to play the trumpet. And then my dad passed away, and I immediately went out and got a trumpet. It was for whatever reason, it was like I needed that trumpet.
Oh.
And so I started playing, and I just wrote this song called The Haunted Trumpet. And it's about, well, I won't give it away totally, but
Do you feel your father's presence when you're playing it?
absolutely. Yeah.
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 Which is really amazing and quite beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's with
Yeah.
you. He's with
Yeah.
you.
And I wrote it a few years ago. That song that's now the title of the piece. And it was interesting because I wrote the song and then I kind of put it away, and I was like, I don't know what that's about, but
Right.
we'll leave it over there for now. And then, yeah, from that, I just started collecting, poems that I wrote and songs, and cobbled together this performance piece that deals with, what we're haunted by, the demons that we struggle with, and that the trauma that we want to work through. And so the piece talks about all those things, and it's about primarily, actually, I'd say, reclaiming your memories as your own. So I'd like to sing two songs for you guys today. The first one is The Haunted Trumpet, which is the opening number. And then the second one is I'll maybe explain it in a little bit. But should I go ahead and start with The Haunted Trumpet?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'll do a little intro while you get it set up. Our very illustrious guest, the one and only Jill USDAN, is here, and she's going to sing The Haunted Trumpet for us on the Jim Master Show Live. How's that for an intro?
Love it.
Levity, right? Levity.
The Haunted Trumpet is a place to go when it starts to snow and you got nothing but cold. When fear attacks, you crack your back, just trying not to die. But come inside and you will find there's something here for everyone. Dancing, singing, music to spare, to ease you from your cares. Home sweet home, no one's alone. If you don't have a guy or girl, just get a drink and wait. You'll have a date soon enough, soon enough. The Haunted Trumpet is a magical place where you can change your face, be whoever you want, and flaunt your feathers any way you choose. Nothing to lose, but nothing to gain or remain lost in the Haunted Trumpet. Welcome to the Haunted Trumpet.
Very nice. Very nice. So that's your creation, huh? Wow. I love that vibe. I love that feel. That's really great job on that. Great job. And is that as an EP? Is that available? Can people get that?
It's not available quite yet.
It's a work in progress.
Yes, I'm in the process of putting all the songs together and putting an album out there of it. But yeah, it's a work in progress.
Well, I want to show you that the Levities are waiting for it, and they'll probably scoop it up the minute it's available. And this is this, I would say, as always happens on the Jim Masters Show Live, which I love, a world premiere exclusive. That was, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's really cool. Jane, of course, says nice. And you were watching when she was on the show, right?
Yes.
Yes, and we love her. Juanita says, "Wow, great voice and song." Hazel, welcome, Hazel. Really nice. Esper says, "How nice, love it." Farrell says, "Beautiful." Marcia Murphy Watson says, "What a surprise!" I know her voice is terrific, right? She really belts it out nicely, and I love the snow effect too. There's nothing like really good production value, right? That really kicks the production into gear. You have a beautiful voice, very nice, from Kathy Short. Sherry Schoenlein, claps, claps, claps. Bernadette, bravo, jazzy and great vibe. Merlin in Canada, claps, 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 and even gave you one of those okays. And Torimer says, bravo, so good. And Wozniak says, fantastic. Tess Labella says, awesome, loved it. Mary Bishop says, fantastic. And June says, awesome. And Marcia Murphy Watson smiles and claps. You get lots of levity on the Jim Masters Show Live. Marcia also says, you're very brave to try so many different things, which is great. And that definitely did have a jazzy, smooth quality. And Merlin also enjoyed, which I noticed, your facial expressions during singing as well. You really get into it. Jill Jason says, beautiful. Sarah Hartman says, so beautiful. Love this song. Applauding here as well. Ruth Reedy says, nice. Natalie, lovely Jill. Esper says, you put a smile on our face. And I think that's great. And wash hands, wash hands, wash hands, wash hands. And so well written, so well performed. I'm sure somebody's writing a social distancing, washing hands song one of these days out there. We'll hear that on the radio. Lovely voice, nice interpretation of this original jazz number. It's good to use our hands in singing when it connects with our brains and with the execution of a song. And June, you're going to get your wish because she has more material for us. Love to hear more. What else do you have that you want to sprinkle our way this holiday season, my friend Jill?
So this is the song that comes after the Haunted Trumpet, which you just heard. I think I should just sing it and then maybe talk about it.
Talk about it after, sort of surprise them, huh?
Yeah.
I like that idea. I like that idea. Let's do that, and then we'll do, a little conversation after about it. That sounds really cool. Take it away. Once again, Jill USDAN, live on the Jim Masters Show Live.
Haunted by he, haunted by he, haunted by he, haunted by he. Him, 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 and him, ooh, and him, haunted by he, haunted by he, haunted by he, haunted by he. Take a number, get in line. Take a number 1 through 9. Take a number, get in line. Take a number 1 through 9. Where you been? How you been? Who you been with? Baby, I wanna know. 'Cause you haunt me. You haunt me. Please get out of my head. Let me be just me. Get out of my head. Out of my head. Haunted by he. 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 Haunted by he, haunted by
Really, really beautiful too. And tell us about that song. That's a great one too, Jill.
Thank you.
That one's really meaningful to you, isn't it? I can tell. That's a deep one. It goes deep, runs deep for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Very intuitive.
I'll start by just saying that this is a helpful kind of illustration of the Alexander technique, actually. Part of a big part of the technique, especially when working with performing and singing and everything, is how you breaking everything down, or chunking it up is what we call it, so that you break it down, whatever you're working on, into parts and then putting it together in a whole. So with this song, there are multiple he's, obviously. And so to kind of prepare this song, I had to really take a long time with each he and think about which he I was thinking about, and really immerse myself in that moment and take a long time to stay with it. Like he, okay, who is that person? Who is that person? Okay, now this next he, so that I can then speed it up and then put it in the song. So that was kind of just an example of the Alexander work and process.
So, and the song itself, the meaning to that song, tell us about that. Is there a further meaning to that song, in addition to it being a great representation of the technique?
There's a few different things going on. I'd say the biggest part is just using this to kind of reclaim her memories, my memories, the character's memories, and just the process of going through and just connecting with what haunts you, and going through the cycle of how to move past that. And at the same time, not wanting to let go of it. And that speaks to the part when in the song, when it's, where you been, how you been. It's like, at the same time, it's like, I don't want to let go, but I do. And that's kind of, I'm not quite sure how else to talk about it, but hopefully that makes sense.
Because we're met with that a lot in our lives, where we sometimes need to let go, or cut loose, or remove ourselves from, or things and people and life happens where those things are removed for us in ways that we are happy about, ways that we weren't able to do ourselves, and ways that maybe we're not happy about and we wish didn't happen, whether it's loss of somebody or a situation. A lot of people experiencing that feeling this year in so many different ways in their lives, as we're sort of reassessing, who we are and where we're headed and where we've been and what we want to do with the rest of our lives with this whole situation. So a very reflective and very meaningful song, and a great, like you say, demonstration of how that technique actually works. Was there anything else you wanted to share with us, perform or sing, or have the audience hear a little bit more of your work? I love what Christopher says here. Nice idea for a song. The vowel carries the sound when singing. If we hold on to the consonant, we tend to shut the sound off. Also, it can create unnecessary tension in our voices if we hold on to. I believe that is so great. Karen says, sounds like you're trying to get one of, that's what I thought too. That's, yeah, with the pausing a little bit, that there might be some he's in there that it's, a lot of this can be also therapeutic, right? As much as it is for you, and as much as it is for the recipient, it is also for the creator as well, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean that's my hope, is that it speaks to people and they can start to their own process of, their journey to doing the same thing that I'm hopefully doing on stage in front of them.
Right. This is beautiful. So great, Jill. It's from Natalie. Love the slow of emotions felt through the piece, letting go to allow yourself to move forward, but also acknowledging how the past plays a role in who we are today. Such a beautiful voice. The tune is so catchy. I'm going to be singing the Haunted Trumpet melody all night. Yeah, so is June. Thank you very much, Christopher. We appreciate that. Is there anything else you wanted to share with us musically for people to hear your voice and your passion and vim and vigor?
I think for today, I'm just going to stick with those two.
Yeah. Karen says, you're right, Jim. Oftentimes we know and we should no longer have certain persons in our lives, our heads, but it's not always so easy to do it, which is true. So good. Also think I got my emojis sorted this time. those are the claps, right, Helen? I love that. What are the things in life that inspire you? Obviously, we all have different people and different things, experiences. If we're observers of life, that we sort of soak up, that we then use when we are expressing our creativity. I mean, I do it as a host and a conversationalist, and in my work in television, radio, and stage. I pick up different elements of life. A lot of it plays into my humor, which tends to be quick, dry, witted, responsive to things that happen, responsive to things that I see going on. Definitely passed down by my father. I say it's the Irish part of me. Irish wit and humor, always looking for a way to lighten the load and find a little comedy and things. How about you? What are some of the things that inspire your life? Are you always, you seem to me as somebody who runs deep. Emotion is right here. You're very heart-centric, very soulful, easily moved by things, but depth and core are very important to you. I'm very much that way, and this is why I'm getting this vibe, is that things that are not superficial, you prefer. Things that have an impact, things that inspire, things that have some depth to it, speak to you more than just the flash in the pan stuff. I'm getting that, and from you, even through screens, I'm just getting that. And at the same time, you're an observer of life, and a lot of that is reflected in your work. Would you say that?
Yeah, I think, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'd say that my biggest inspiration, I think, are my friends and my family, my biological family, but also my chosen family and my friends. I'm so grateful to be able to be friends with lots of different people from different walks of life, but who kind of are able to reflect me back to myself when I can't see what's going on with me, and they help me reflect my art back to me, so that I just it's just I just have like a lot of really wonderful supportive friends, and they inspire me yeah, to be the best version of myself. And also I like one of my friends told me about this podcast about something called the Goo, which is this, it's all about the transformation of a caterpillar into a butterfly. And it was this random podcast that she shared with me. And I ended up incorporating the podcast into this haunted trumpet piece, because it's all about shedding old skin to become, a new, different version of yourself. And I even wrote a song called The Goo, and it's all about the goopy goo and what it means to be in the goo when you're going from being a caterpillar to a butterfly in the middle. The organism just melts and turns into goo. So it goes from caterpillar to liquid to butterfly. I mean, it's just the craziest thing.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, and so I wrote a song called the Goopy Goo Song. And it's all about, being in the goo and what that means. And it's a soft shoe. So that's another element.
Have you written or considered writing for children, capturing them in the early years and inspiring them? Because a lot of what you're saying too, obviously it would be brought down a little bit for the child, but still the sensibilities and essence of what you're saying, which translates to what all of us, quote unquote, adults would absorb and hopefully apply to our lives. But I can see you relating very well to children as well. And maybe the vernacular would be a little bit different, and the delivery and maybe presentation of it would be different, but still crafting it for that young mind that's coming up the ranks. Because I can see that within you, that working with children in these different ways, shapes, and forms, and sort of translating what you're talking about today through music and song and conversation could be very beneficial for children as well. Have you done that, and do you do that, or have you thought about doing that with kids as well?
Yeah, well, I'm so fortunate that I have two amazing nieces, Catherine and Eloise, and they're 9 and 12, and they inspire me so much too. They are just the best. Eloise, the 9-year-old, wants me to write her a pop song. She's waiting for that. So I have a deadline. I have to get that pop song out to her.
Yeah.
But no, I'm so inspired by them. And one of my favorite life moments I had was when I put out the EP, they would go around the house singing all the songs, and it just meant so much to me. And one of my favorite moments was my niece Catherine was sewing in her room and listening to my music while she was sewing, and it was just such a lovely moment that it touches me so much that she liked it that much that she wanted to have it on while she was sewing.
Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that really beautiful? Jane actually has a request.
Oh my gosh. What did she say? Couldn't we possibly hear Didn't I? Or a sneak preview from the EP? Oh my goodness.
She threw that at you, huh? Maybe we'll have you come back at some point, because you're not really set up for that, right?
Yeah, I don't have the accompaniment for that tonight.
Yeah, that's okay. That gives people sort of an opportunity to tease them a little bit.
Yeah, but you can go.
Yeah. Well, where can they go? Yeah, let them know where they can go.
Yeah, so if you search on Spotify, iTunes, Amazon, just Jill Usdan numbers, it'll come up. And the first and last songs are jazz standards, and the 4 in between I wrote. So yeah, if you want to hear more, check it out. It'd be great.
That's cool. That's cool. And a lot of people are sort of in the same mindset as me, Jill, with the access to children. You should do an Alexander Technique book for kids with your illustrations. That's what my mindset is. And Allison is right there with me and thinking about it. And Farrell says, I've always thought you would be an amazing children's book author and illustrator as well. I think that is fantastic. Christine says, Jill, thanks for sharing the details of the Alexander Technique with us today. I certainly learned a lot. I enjoyed your songs. Really like your jazzy haunted trumpet with the effects. You always have. You also had a fabulous, your art creations are fabulous as well. A true levity. And Karen says the fact that a 12-year-old girl is actually sewing is pretty amazing.
I think she was closer to 10 at the time, actually.
Wow, yeah. That tops it even more.
She's amazing. She's amazing with her hands. She makes jewelry and all kinds of really cool stuff.
So you're inspired by life. Life inspires you, and you use it in creative ways that inspire others, right, Jill?
Yeah, I have to say, even though living in New York, I do get a lot of inspiration from nature and the water. I grew up sailing a lot, actually, and
the Long Island Sound.
Yeah,
off the Connecticut coast. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something just about being on the water. I would just like be alone in my boat and just like singing while.
Yeah. So you're I don't think our Jen is here from Allentown, Pennsylvania, but she always asks the guests, are they an ocean person or are they a mountain person? Because she's sort of in the mountains there in Pennsylvania, and she is always a mountain person, she says. And the mountains are beautiful. I love the mountains too. But I too, growing up here on the Northeast coast, I've always, to me, the ocean is my go-to place.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I love the ocean. Swimming, surfing, boogie boarding, walking the ocean, sailing it, the sunsets. Yeah, absolutely. How about you? Is the ocean sort of a zen place for you, a go-to place?
Gosh, absolutely. I love the water. And actually, speaking of children, there's one summer where I actually taught sailing to kids. I had some who were younger, who were maybe like 10 or 12 or so, and then older kids too. So that was fun to teach sailing. But yeah, the water, I love the water. Can't get enough of it.
Juanita says, thanks for sharing your time with us, Jill. Lovely voice and art. Keep well. Bernadette also says, thanks, Jill, for sharing your time and creative talents with us. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Stay well. Tesla Bella, who's our guest coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight. Loved all your songs and beautiful spirit. We are blessed to have you as a levity. Wishing you the happiest of holidays. And Tess says, thank you, Jim, for another magnificent conversation. And we'll see you just before 7, my friend Tess, as well. Juanita in South Africa, thanks for sharing your time with us, Jill. Lovely voice and art. Keep well. Karen says, which is so true, cell phones, TikTok, Snapchat have taken over 12 and 13-year-old minds. So sad. I agree. Love you, XOXOXO from June as well. Don says, you've spent so many years singing a cappella. Now all of a sudden you need an accompaniment. Go for it. Boy, they really want you to.
Oh my gosh.
Jingle bells or something. They want you to really do something, huh? That is funny.
I'm trying to think of what I could do a cappella.
Maybe a holiday song or something thematic. This is funny.
I'm trying to think on the spot here.
I tell you.
I could maybe sing one of my songs from my EP.
Yeah. Maybe do something. You don't have to do the whole thing too, if you don't feel, that you're ready for it. But a little something to, I guess, so the viewers can.
I'll do a little Christmas for us, so we can go listen to the EP.
Perfect. Yeah, with the holiday season in full swing, I think all the lovelies and viewers would love that. Okay,
I might not remember some of the words, but I'll go for it.
Sure.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up like Eskimos. Everybody knows some turkey and some mistletoe help to make the season bright. Tiny tots with their eyes all aglow will find it hard to sleep tonight. They know that Santa's on his way. He's loads of lots of toys and goodies on his sleigh. And every mother's child is gonna spy to see if reindeer really know how to fly. And so I'm offering this simple phrase to kids from 1 to 92, though it's been said many times, many ways.
Merry Christmas to you. Perfect. Excellent.
Yes.
See, this we can do without touching.
Yes.
It's a whole new world of high fives through the screen. Very beautiful, my friend. Very beautiful. A nice way to cap that off, too. And lots of levity. Marcia says, you nailed it. Spot on. And Kathy Short says, very nice. Claps from Kathleen in New York City. Now they want the Jill USDAN holiday album. See what happens. See what we've started on the Jim Masters Show live. And wow, you definitely don't need music. Great voice from Juanita. And Tori Merce says, woo, so gorgeous, Jill. And so beautiful. Great way to kick off the season. Don says, Martin is very proud. I second the holiday album. Good idea from Jane, of course, who you know was a phenomenal guest on our show about 2 months ago. We loved having Jane with us. She's spectacular. Hazel says, awesome. Put this woman on Broadway from Jennifer. Good to see you, Jennifer, watching on YouTube. And, very nice. And see all the love and levity coming your way here.
Love, so much love. I love it.
Yeah, claps and smiles. Bernadette was singing along. We were all singing along there. Marilyn says, beautiful voice. And Mary Bishop, thank you. Your music and pictures were awesome. Be safe and be well. Jane goes, yes. And go for it. And you certainly did that on the spot, too. Thanks for being here with us, Jill. Stay safe. From Kathleen Walker in NYC. And Christine Clifton in North Carolina. Jill, with all these beautiful emojis. Love it. We've got melodies, signs, and claps, and Christmas trees, and hearts. Lovely voice. June says yes. And it was a pleasure rounding up the very end of that melody with you together.
Absolutely.
Merry Christmas. Beautiful from Ruth. And yes, too. And good stuff. Good stuff. This was fantastic. I can't believe it's been an hour and 40 minutes already. Could you imagine?
It's like nothing.
It always does. We try to make a warm, inviting, conversational atmosphere. It's just my personality. I'm a Libra, so I'm all about balance and harmony and try to bringing people together. I say it on the show because people are guessing it. They're like, are you a Libra? And I'm like, yeah. We try to bring everybody together. Jill says, you are a delight. And I agree. So you have a website people can check out as well, you said?
Yes. The site is for mostly Alexander purposes. It's called The Means Whereby, TheMeansWhereby.com.
TheMeansWhereby.com.
Yeah,
Yes.
The Means Whereby, it's an Alexander technique term, which basically talks about the process by which you achieve a goal, and that's the technique. So TheMeansWhereby.com.
So you got that, folks? It is TheMeansWhereby.com. delight.com, which is a phrase we use a lot too. You know, the means whereby this happened or this has happened or that happened. Right. I like that phrase. I saw that on some of the paperwork and emails, the means whereby.com. And I like that. Very creative. Karen says, Jill, you're a delight. Jill to Jill says, thank you for sharing your passion, heartfelt authenticity with us. XO. And in Southern California, just got to tell you, Ann, I really love that profile photo. You look stunning. Merry Christmas to you as well there in SoCal. Love when you're with us. Thanks for joining us, Jill. And Karen says, I'm Pisces. My dad Pisces as well. And you as well. You are a delight and you are welcome back anytime. And I saw you had a mug or a cup or something there we can toast for the holidays. I've got my I Love Lucy mug. And what do you have on yours? What does yours say?
That's Rosetta Stone.
Oh, is it really? Let's see.
Yeah,
we'll get a close-up of that.
It's the Egyptian hieroglyphics and then translated into the Greek.
And you have some nice hot tea in there, huh?
I do.
So we toast you.
Yes.
With levity, Lucy levity.
Lucy levity.
And our official I Love Lucy mug. I tell you, we've got all these TV characters here. This was a blessing and this was a joy. And as I mentioned to you, George Burns had a wonderful time. Jeannie had a spectacular time. We did one night of nostalgia, like back in the spring when I started the show, and everybody loves these characters, so we bring them on. So Jeannie's in her bottle, and she says, thank you very much for the music and the inspiration and the conversation. We had Dreamer Denver on the show, who was the wife of Bob Denver, who played Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. We did a fabulous concert with her. She's a children's book author, too, and an actress, and she owns a radio station in Virginia, West Virginia. She lives on top of a mountain in West Virginia. She saw our set here, our home studio, and she said, and it wasn't even a holiday theme like it is now. It was, I think, in the summertime. And she said, you're missing something from the set. And I said, what could we possibly be missing? She says, you're missing Gilligan. So she sent Gilligan along. Aloha, Jim. And again, we try to so these characters have remained part of the show, including Jimmy.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, cool. That's actually a childhood toy. Very well preserved.
That's amazing.
Made of porcelain. We set Jimmy down very gingerly. And then, of course, Silver, who we got on a TV shoot in Switzerland. Silver, the Silver Lab, enjoyed it as well. So you got a big fan base here, as well as everywhere else, Jill. Thank you so much for spending the afternoon with us. This was spectacular, and we really enjoyed sharing your story, your passion, your heartfelt personality, soulfulness with our audience, and wish you and your family the best of blessings and joy of the holiday, and stay healthy, stay well. I hope the show met your expectations and you enjoyed your time with me as much as I certainly have with you, Jill.
Oh my gosh, I don't want it to end. I enjoy your company so much. Thank you so much for the opportunity to be here. And I love interacting with all the other levities. It's just an amazing community. And I'm just so proud and happy to be a levity.
You are a levity, absolutely. Thank you, Jane. Wonderful. Jim, Merry Christmas. My pleasure. I love Jimmy. Yes. That's the clown. Yeah. Slancha, the Irish way of saying cheers. Loving the mug, the Rosetta Stone mug as well. And Esper, great show, Jim. Thank you, Esper. I hope you'll watch us regularly. We're actually back in 1 hour. So I'm going to have a quick dinner. And then we're back at 7 p.m. Eastern. But we're generally here 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on YouTube and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. Lots of hearts coming in from Ann in California. Fantastic night, you too, June. We'll be back in an hour. Hope you're back with us too as well, June. And Levity Jill. Yay. That's right. You are officially a levity. Cheers. Great show. Thank you very much, Kathy. And absolutely wonderful and inspiring, Jill. Thank you for sharing your beautiful work with us as well, from Sarah Hartman, watching on our YouTube channel. Thanks again for joining us. We will have you back. We can sing and chat more. You can keep us updated on some of the wonderful things that are happening in your life in the new year. And that would be a blessing. And again, I really hope you you truly enjoyed your time with me as much as I have with you.
Absolutely. The best. Thank you so much.
You are very, very welcome. You take care. You be well.
You
And
too.
we'll chat again soon, and happy holidays.
You too. Thank
Take,
you.
take care, Jill.
Bye.
Bye-bye now. Wasn't she a delight? Absolutely. She was fantastic. And I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, an afternoon special episode of the Jim Masters Show Live. We've been so booked with guests that I wanted to make sure we got this in the holiday time. So we created a very special time for the show, so Jill can be with us in the holiday season. I'm so glad that she was able to join us too. Yes, our lovities and yours truly, we have trouble saying goodbye on this show. So we don't say goodbye, we say see you later. Sarah says, absolutely wonderful, inspiring. Thank you very much. And another excellent episode, Jim, bravo. Thank you very much. Terrific. You enjoyed it. It was great. So sweet. Happy holidays, everyone, from Farrell. Again, if you guys are joining us for the very first time, we're here just about every single day. Our regularly scheduled time is 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. If you missed anything in this episode and like to see it again, or you want to see all 36 weeks of the Jim Masters Show Live thus far, over 200 episodes with amazing guests. Melissa Manchester was on our show a couple of weeks ago, and Allison Arngrim, who played Nellie Olson on Little House on the Prairie. I mean, it goes on and on. You can see them all on our YouTube channel at Jim Masters TV. Feel free. And whether you join us live or you join us in the archives. And again, we thank our very special friend, JILL USDAN, for joining us here and sharing her love and empathy and her compassion and her joy. And she's a beautiful person inside and out. Again, wonderful singer, songwriter, photographer, puppeteer, Alexander technique teacher. And it was really cool finding out more about that, right? Learning about, you always learn something new on our show and have an opportunity to check cool things out on our show while we have fun and entertainment and lots of levity along the way. We're going to wrap up because we're back on the air in about an hour. So you can have a little dinner in between. We're eager to be back and see Sweet Tess at 7, less than an hour. I know I got to talk fast. Great show again, Jim. Thank you, Juanita. See you in an hour. Jim and Lovities, you got it. Go grab some dinner now. See you a little bit later today. We love that. See you in an hour. You too, Kathy, and see you later, Lovities. We'll see you soon. Esper says, Jim, you are tireless. I think so. I think you're right. Somebody said the Energizer, or is it? Yeah, the Energizer Bunny in a way. It was great learning more of Jill and her talents and technique. Thanks, Jim. See you very soon. And we are eager to be back at 7, warming up with my hairdryer, instant heater. I'm cold tonight. We'll warm you up at 7. Go get some food, Jim. You guys are the best. As always, we have a certain way we end our show. We say relax, and we'll be back in an hour anyway, but relax, breathe from the diaphragm, kind of like what Jill is talking about today. I always say it at the end of every show, breathe from the diaphragm and take care of one another. I mean, you spend a lot of time, probably taking care of other people, and that's a beautiful thing. We all love to do that. Take care of one another, love one another, and also take care of yourself and love yourself as well. It's a beautiful and important thing to do. So relax if you can. We got this while we were on vacation in Newport, Rhode Island a few years ago. So relax, breathe from the diaphragm, and take good care of yourself. And again, love one another through thick and thin. We toast all of you. We welcome all of you who've joined us for the very first time as we get ready to wrap up this episode. We'll be back again in just about an hour. Don't forget to smile. Make sure you smile and pass the smile along. And don't forget to share the levity, as we always do here on the Jim Masters Show Live. We talked about our Zen places. Jill loves the ocean. I love the ocean as well. A Zen place also is with loving family and friends. My work in the television and radio industry, my career brings me great joy and blessing and fulfillment, and all the places I've had an opportunity to work with, television, radio, networks, and stage, and TV, radio stations, and more. And of course, the levity, share that levity. And we thank all of you for joining us here on the show. We'll be back in about an hour with another great episode. It's going to be cool and a lot of fun with Tess LaBella joining us. Again, you saw her She was with us, I'd say about 2 months ago. And then we wanted to have an opportunity. Just here's one quick picture. You know what we're in for? There she is in the middle. We're going to have a blast with Tess coming up at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Jim Masters Show Live. Want to let you know also tomorrow, Bill Plimpton, the amazing animator, filmmaker, and cartoonist Bill Plimpton is with us live at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific. That's tomorrow. Then the extraordinary Bobby Horowitz is with us on Wednesday. Wonderful performer, songwriter, numerologist. Then on Thursday, award-winning celebrity caricaturist and animator Ken Fallon is going to be with us on Thursday, which is going to be absolutely amazing. The one and only Emmett O'Hanlon is going to be with us on Friday. He was originally with Celtic Thunder. He's a brilliant singer himself, and he's an Irish-American baritone, very popular. He's going to be with us. On Saturday, Keith Harkin is going to be with us live from, he's originally from Ireland, lives in LA. He was with Celtic Thunder as well, has a brilliant career as a singer-songwriter. He's actually in Portugal. He's going to be live from Portugal. Connor McGinty is going to be live from Ireland, cousin of Damien McGinty. He's going to be here. He's got lots of songs in store as well. Coming up, my dear friend, jazz vocalist Tammy McCann is going to be joining us. The one and only award-winning, internationally beloved Sir James Galway, one of the most brilliant flautists in the world, 30 million albums sold. And his lovely wife, also a brilliant flautist, Lady Jean Galway, is going to be joining us. She's originally from New York. He's originally from Ireland. They live in Switzerland. They're going to be live from Switzerland on December 18th at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, 8 p.m. GMT. It's going to be his birthday weekend. We're going to have a birthday party as well as a special holiday show, and that's going to be absolutely fantastic. Darren Holden, who was with Riverdance, is going to be joining us in about 2 weeks as well, and we look forward to having Darren here. He's also with the High Kings. And we always look forward to having all of you here on the Jim Masters Show Live as well. Again, back in about an hour as we welcome Tess LaBella back to the show, and it's going to be fantastic. Thanks to everybody for joining us here on this episode, this special afternoon episode. And again, we thank our very, very special guest, Jill USDAN. And again, check her out online. She is amazing, and she is just a spectacular person. And I love, again, I'm loving all those drawings too. I mean, she's really a great, great artist. You're going to be swarmed in Thunderheads again, Jim, for these shows. You're zen now with the hairdryer. Cheers to 7 o'clock. You got it. Thanks, gang. We love you all. If you're back at 7 with us, fantastic. If not, you can find all of our shows on Jim Masters TV on YouTube. We hope you subscribe to the channel too. We would love that, and pass on that levity. For all of us, you take care. Jim Masters, thanking you for your time this time. Until next time, see you soon, right here on the Jim Masters Show Live. Bye-bye. Take care.